Hello, everyone. This is Old School from WhatTheBuck.net reporting. You see, we got a new splash screen there. Thanks to G-Dubs for hooking us up with something that's a little bit more appropriate for what we're doing with the camp series. Sadly, this will be my last day at camp this week. Normal work is going to stop me from going back, which is a pain in the ass. But I should be back Saturday and Sunday, and I believe I'm taking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week to hit that as well. So today was a special teams practice, which should have let me know a little bit about what I needed to know going in. It's only an hour long, but I figured I had the day off anyway. I should go over there and check it out. The nice thing that I saw was Maurice Stovall. So Maurice Stovall, someone I've liked for quite a long time. He's been on the show with us before. Good kid, a lot of athletic ability. Has had some injury issues. Really kind of shined as a gunner, but not really as a receiver yet, despite having a pretty decent draft status and having all the physical skills. Just hasn't really come into his own. One of the reasons that he shines as a gunner was evident today because at this special teams practice, he was out a half hour before anyone else, working, stretching out, and he had a younger player over with him as well. In this case, it was Patrick Carter, showing him what you need to do to get off the blocks when you're out in the gunner position, different techniques, different moves, whether it's a rip, all the different stuff that you can do. And he's going step by step, motion by motion. It was like watching a class on how to play the position, which was nice to see a guy who's veteran now in Maurice Stovall taking Carter and showing him these things. Because it can only pay dividends in the long run. So that was probably far more interesting than what I actually got to see in practice. And that's no offense to special teams. I know it's an important part of the game. God knows you've got to be able to make your field goals, and the punt team is incredibly important. And 3 years ago, Bidwell was probably our offensive player of the year. But what we got to see today was, Matt Bryant was not out there. I Twittered that. For those of you who follow Twitter, we are on Twitter at WhatTheBuck. And when I'm at camp, I do tweet real time from there. We've scooped a number of people this week on that. Bryant was in just a sweatshirt and a jersey over. He didn't kick it all today. Mike Nugent did all the kicking, and he wasn't particularly effective. I think he was 3 of 5. Didn't show an incredibly strong leg. Wasn't incredibly accurate. Coach Morris was on the team with their transitions getting on and off the field for field goal setups. In general, again, camp was a little bit slow. Guys were a little lethargic. Other notes that may be of interest was that on the other field, even though this was a special teams practice, they had the linemen out there running sprints. And now, aside from the actual stuff where you get to watch the team and try and figure out how your team's going to do, from a tourist perspective, if you're out there trying to get autographs, if you're a local Tampa person, or if you're coming in for camp and you're trying to get autographs or pictures, special teams practices apparently are the day to go. There was probably a quarter of the attendance today. And they brought out a bunch of people to sign autographs. Before the practice, they had a bunch of linemen and other people who weren't in the practice out signing autographs. And because there are so many fewer people, you could get up there and get things signed and take pictures, etc. Now, a lot of them weren't in their actual uniforms. They were just in sweatsuits or jumpsuits. But still, you could get the autographs you wanted. And then after practice, they were out there signing, for another half hour. So from a fan perspective, if you want to get autographs, this was a terrific practice. From a fan's perspective, if you're trying to see how your team's going to do, you didn't get a whole lot of meat to go on, right? You had Dexter Jackson, Clifton Smith, Sammy Stroder a couple times fielding kickoffs, punt returns as well. Most of the time it was working on lane discipline. They were doing a couple of drills where they had like a kickoff drill where one of the players was down on his stomach, another player was holding him down. He had to fight up and then go and fill the lane and get to the returner. Neat stuff, sort of, but at the end of the day, not a whole lot of excitement and not something you can really analyze, I don't think, as a fan anyway. I'm sure the coaches got a lot of tremendous information from the coaching tape, but I couldn't really tell a whole lot about how things were going by and large. So Josh Bidwell, rust doesn't exist. He was booming kicks all over the field today. That's kind of what he does. So that's nice to see that he was healthy. On the far field, though, after the linemen went out and ran their sprints, Josh Johnson and Josh Freeman went over to the far field and were doing a number of different drills with regards to throwing routes. Most of them were outs and deep ins, trying to throw underneath protection. So you'd be going over the linebacker's hands, dropping the ball into your receiver behind him. Also working on the timing routes on the out route, like a 15-yard out route. And it was just those two quarterbacks, Luke McCown and Byron Leftwich, were nowhere to be seen. Word out of camp from an injuries perspective is Antonio Bryant's knee is a little bit dinged up, but it's the same knee that he had to have drained last time, so there's not a lot of concern or fear about that. Kellen Winslow's ankle, he rolled that apparently in practice recently. Now, the morning practice, he was fine yesterday. Must have been the afternoon practice. I didn't notice him not there because I wasn't able to stay for the whole thing. Though I did put our write-ups from the morning at whatthebuck.net. If you go to the training camp section, you can see the write-ups day by day. But today at the special teams practice, Kellen Winslow was out there catching passes from the jugs gun. So I don't think it's anything that's overly serious. So Again, I'll be trying to keep updates. Hopefully some more people from our What the Buck Network are going to be out there, whether it be Roman, i.e. Captain Bones, or Cheryl, Spent, any of those folks. If they're out there, we'll get information. We'll try and get them out to you on YouTube. I want to thank everyone who subscribed. People are spreading the word. We're getting some more information coming in on the YouTube channel, which is tremendous. That's Captain Bones calling in right now. I'm going to ignore him so I can finish this. But make sure you subscribe, tell your friends, follow us on Twitter. We do try and get that stuff out there as rapidly as possible. And come over to the show. We're going to have Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report this week, Thursday at 7 o'clock, to talk about the QB battle here in Tampa. That's it for now. I'm Old School, and I am out.